Happy Halloween! Let's take a look at some of the fun activities in this week's Preschool Pod Pack. As always, you got a Play-Doh mat, and this week I want you to try to make a ball out of Play-Doh and roll it through this maze. You might also try to do the maze with a dry erase marker, and you can draw the path. You also could try to stretch the Play-Doh out and stick it onto the Play-Doh mat to complete the maze. On the other side, we're working on the letter R, and this week I gave you some wiki sticks. So not only can you use Play-Doh, but now you can also start to form the letters with the wiki sticks, and they stick right onto paper. You can do lots of fun things with wiki sticks, like making a spider for Halloween. You can use these over and over again. I always stick them back on the plastic and put them in the plastic bag so that they stay nice and sticky. Another activity using Play-Doh, I gave you this straw and lots of spiders. So you can practice with your hands or with your tweezers getting these spiders onto the straw. And I'll tell you, it is not very easy. So this is going to take some hard work. I gotta get one. Got it. I also made you a spider web. So you're going to use that yarn and weave it around the plate to make a very cool spider web. It's up to you if you want to practice your letters on the back of the plate or not. Let's see who can name all of the letters from this month. First we did I. We did the itsy bitsy spider. Then we did F. We did 5 fireflies. Then we did D. We made a dog and some dog food. And this week is R, where we're rolling that Play-Doh ball. All right, so that is some of the fun activities, and here is one of the books that I'm going to read to you for for Halloween week. This is a great book, and there's also a movie that you can watch on Netflix called Spookly the Square Pumpkin. This is written by Joe Troiano, and it's illustrated by Susan Banta. One day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookly wasn't like his friends. Where they had curves, he had ends. Spookly was different. He was odd. He was rare. Spookly the pumpkin wasn't round. He was square. While the round pumpkins had fun rolling along, poor Spookly sat there, shaped all wrong. He tried and tried with all his might, but he couldn't budge. He just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookly wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is, until one night when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times it's better to be square. Halloween was just a day away when a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines, then off they'd go, bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing, what a sight! Spookly sat there filled with fright, but glad to be a square that night. Suddenly the fence gave way. 3 pumpkins rolled out and into the bay. Spookly knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried. He finally flipped. He was on his side. Again he tipped. Again he flopped. Again he flipped. And then he stopped right in the gap where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way. The hole was capped. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray! Spookly the Square Pumpkin had saved the day." Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. Then one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack. with a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash. And then it all went black. At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and checked his crop. He picked his pumpkins up one by one and laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last was moved away, the farmer could see what had saved the day. An odd-shaped pumpkin, short and dense, was wedged against the broken fence. Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, but there was brave little Spookley, sitting straight and strong and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew, of all the seeds he'd ever sown, Spookleys were the most special that had ever grown. And the next year, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And oh, that morning about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere, hundreds and hundreds, most of them square. But some were cubes and some rectangular. Some were flat and others triangular. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka dot pumpkins and rainbow ones too. There were thousands of colors and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety makes! Now every year on Halloween, Spookley's patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see what wonders grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. Then they pick a pumpkin that's round, triangular, or perfectly square. Now you know the story of how Spookley grew. Maybe someday you'll tell someone too, and they'll go tell someone who'll go tell another, and maybe one day we all will discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. Have a wonderful Halloween. I hope you dress up in a fun costume and get lots of wonderful treats. I'll see you back next week.